Alright, before we get to the RZR, we got to pull my truck in here. It's a 2022. Had to replace both batteries last week. And in the bitter cold, we had like minus 16. I started getting a coolant leak. So this is just me bringing it in, making dang sure it was my truck, and I'm sure it's my truck. Then we move into, we got a whopping ½ inch of snow. And with my driveway, it doesn't matter how much snow you get. If you leave it, it'll freeze, turn to ice. So I went out, scraped it off. That's how desperate I am to play with my tractor. So, oh well. Alright, so we're going to pull the John Deere out of the heated shop, put it in the unheated garage where it's going to be cold. But there's no snow in the forecast, and I need to get going on the RZR. And the shop is heated, and it's time. So I'll bring it in, get it jacked up, and start assessing the front end and checking out the back. Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. As promised, we got the John Deere out and we brought the RZR in. Got it right here. And I thought we'd talk a little bit about what kind of maintenance we've got going on. Jack made it into the video. Say hello to everybody, Jack. Jack says hello. He's excited. He's a good boy. A lot of guys wanted kind of like an update of, you know, we put so many different parts on here, so I thought I'd just go through each one and kind of, I'm going to start with the big one that I know a lot of you are wondering about, the S&B Particle Separator. Guys, I don't know how to put it. I'm really disappointed with this particle separator. This is the updated one. If you saw my video last year, I called them, told them it wasn't working, what the problem was, and they sent me, I had to buy a new one. I got the new one and then returned my used one, excuse me, and they refunded my money. I mean, it was great. They swapped it out. I was super excited. I thought their customer service was fantastic, and I still feel that way, but I can tell you the particle separator stopped working halfway through the season. The fan doesn't come on. Air filter seems just as dirty as it was before. I'm going to call this one, you know, Big L. It's just failing on me. I'm not going to, I might fix it, just put a new motor. I don't know where I'm at with it yet, but I'm going to tear into it, and at most I'm willing to do is buy a fan and put it in there. I think those are like $100 or something like that. Other than that, it's taking up space on the machine. I'm pretty bummed about it. As far as some of the other stuff we did to the rear, we did replace the axles with Rhino 2.0s. We did put on these Zbroz arms. These things worked out fantastic. No complaints whatsoever on these. The axles are smooth. Obviously, they're still on there. Didn't have any problems. And they're smooth and no noise, which I didn't really have a whole lot of noise in the rears, except for this one. I had a little bit of clicking, but not too bad. Shock therapy, springs and shocks, still working fantastic. I am getting some rubbing in here, but I think that's pretty typical from what I understand. They should come off, I think, this year and get sent back over to them. I'm going to pull them off and just kind of see how they are. They may or may not get sent back for service on that. Those of you that remember our trip to West Virginia, we blew our secondary. Aftermarket Assassins out of Wisconsin. Great company. Overnighted us a new secondary. We got it back together and we are back on the trail. Have not pulled that apart, but I will completely pull the primary and secondary off, clean everything, check everything over, and I don't suspect there's any issues with that because that thing's been running top notch. Let's see. Now we'll kind of go over to the front. The front is where we did the majority of the work. Those of you that watched the video last year, we put on these S3 A-arms. Our other A-arms were cracked and beat to shit. They were falling apart really badly. Other than these A-arms move the axle forward 2 inches and are a hell of a lot beefier. I mean, they just work. I mean, it's not like it's a part that is gonna, you know, like revolutionize your ride or anything like that. But they work. They're not beat up. No issues there whatsoever. Highly recommend them. We swapped out the axles to the Rhino 2.0s. Definitely had noise in this front passenger axle. It's quiet as can be now. Very smooth, no issues whatsoever. The inside the A-arms, we replaced all the bushings with Titan bushings. I'm not noticing any problems. Everything feels tight in there. I'll have to investigate that a little bit further, but from what I can see, there's like no wear on them whatsoever. So I'm pretty happy with those as well. We replaced the ball joints as well with Keller ball joints. They're fully serviceable. This side is tight. No issues here at all. This side has some play. I mean, it's quite a bit of play. And that's, I mean, we ride hard, don't get me wrong. I'm not like surprised or anything like that or disappointed. But these are serviceable, so all I got to do is adjust them, throw some more grease in there, and that'll tighten right up. That was the whole point of me kind of switching to them. So unless I pull them apart and see, you know, massive wear or broken items or something, I think those are a win. Just from the fact that they're serviceable, and I'm pretty happy about that. The shock therapy bump steer kit, or bump steer elimination kit, I don't know, I can show it. Get in here a little bit better. I mean, that's what the kit looks like installed. And I got to tell you, you know, I was pretty skeptical. By the way, you can see, hold on. All right, the shock therapy tie rods here, as well as the bump steer elimination kit, talk about two things. One, apparently I'm doing some clearancing on my wheels and these tie rods. I don't think that's a big deal. There's plenty of meat left on the wheel. It's just when you're turning lock to lock. This is the bump steer elimination kit. Basically these shims. Mine's a little loose. I've got to tighten that up. But as far as performance, I was pretty skeptical. I'm like, man, is it going to work? How is it? And basically what this does, in layman's terms, not a suspension expert or a steering expert at all, but if you're humming along and you're going quick and you see, or you come up on some bumps really quick, if your steering wheel is, you know, really sawtoothing from side to side to maintain control, that's bump steer. In other words, when you hit a bump, you have to steer to correct it. And this thing was horrible. It does have bigger, you know, tires on it. They're heavier than what was supposed to be on there. And I get that. But it used to be just horrible. And, I mean, yeah, I know it's a little loose there. I pointed it out. That's maintenance as far as I'm concerned. I would buy this on every machine moving forward. This thing has been awesome. The bump steer is not like 100% gone. I don't think it's possible to get it 100% gone in a trail machine. I think you need somebody who hell of a lot smarter than I am and like a race tuner to completely get rid of all of it. But I would say 90% of the bump steer I used to have is just gone. And what little there is left is not a big deal. It's a freaking off-road vehicle. I don't really care. So that's a huge win. Really like that kit, and definitely recommend it. Would buy it again. Inside here, you can see where the tie rods connect to. That's your steering box. I am replacing that. I've got a little bit of slop in there, and we're going to clean that up and get rid of that. Wanted to talk a little bit about this mod, the Viper machine shift gate. Oh my gosh, so much nicer on the trail. There's absolutely no concern of skipping a gear. You're either in reverse, you're low, you're high, you're positive where you're at, which I can only tell you it is a great thing on the trail, especially when you're just smashing them. And I know my riding videos don't get a whole lot of views, but those of you that do watch it, you'll see. I mean, it's a long vehicle. When we get to a switchback or something, you're constantly shifting between reverse and low, or reverse and high, usually reverse and low. And you're trying to do it quick, because usually Mark is flying up my ass so fast he's going to run into me, and I'm afraid, you know, he's just going to, you know, scratch my back bumper and total his machine again. That was just a joke, guys, but anyway. So anyway, I get, those of you who have watched my videos know when I come to a switchback, the machine is so long, I got to do a 3-point turn, 4-point turn, whatever it is, to be able to make the turn, because the thing's so long. And you're shifting very quickly between reverse and low, because usually Mark's coming up. I don't want to be annoying to him where he's got to sit there and wait for me, because his little two-seater machine, he can just make the turn. I mean, it's not a big deal. So I'm trying to get out of his way. Plus, you know, he has this habit of crashing, so I don't really want him wrecking into me. So anyway, that Viper shifter, definitely a huge fan of that. The other thing we did was we put this guy on. We had the winch. This is just an X-Bull winch controller, wireless controller. I just put it up there to remind me. We did use our winch a couple of times out in West Virginia, and that controller was awesome. Being able to just handle the winch without messing around with the wire and the cable, that was huge. I really like that. Made it much easier, and just, you know, not a hassle, if you will. So definitely recommend that mod. I liked it. I think that's really it. I did a little video about these guys. No leaks all season. Absolutely no problems. That's made by, I believe it's a company called A1 Billet Products, and man, they were rock solid. I've got them on that one too. These didn't drip, no problem. Loved them. The Midland radio works great, no issues. The fan, holy crap. I can't remember the name of that fan. I believe we bought it from Super ATV, and that's a lifesaver. Definitely like the fan in there. Keeps you cool. There's the steering rack right there from Super ATV, and that'll be going in the machine here pretty quick. If you guys have any questions about what we're going to be doing, I mean, there's kind of the fluids. I use AMSOIL products for oil, and I always change the trans every year, whether it needs it or not. If you have any questions or want to see something specific, let me know. The maintenance videos don't typically get a whole lot of traction or views, so I don't know how much of that I'm going to show. But no, we're going to be getting this thing ready
to go to Windrock this year in Tennessee. Steve has been there. Mark and I have not. A buddy of ours named Jim is going to be out there, and my sister and my brother-in-law are going to be out there as well. And that should be, you know, a great time. We're really looking forward to having a bigger group. And I think Steve and Debbie are going to be excited to go back there. I think when they went there last time, they went with a group as well, and it was really rainy, and I think it was hard for them to really get a great feel for that trail system, if you will. So I know they're looking forward to it. You know, and I am as well. I kind of want to get there and check it out. Be interesting to, you know, go there and ride a new system. And also, it'll be nice to have Steve there because he's been there. So, you know, he's likely going to have some places to go and check things out. So it should be kind of exciting. I'm not going to do the riding videos like I have done in the past. They're honestly a shit ton of work to put together, and they just don't get watched. I think what I'm going to do is more camaraderie videos, you know, like us getting ready for the trip, talking in camp, maybe talking when we stop riding. If we do something super cool on the trails, I'll certainly, you know, record that and put that up there. But just the normal riding down the trail, it's kind of boring for me to edit the damn thing, and I was there and I'm, you know, excited about it. So I can see why they just don't get a lot of traction. But if there's something you want to see, let me know. With that, guys, Jack says goodbye. See you, buddy. And we'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Just wanted to say thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.